Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harrison. I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books, and today it's the Friday show again. I love doing the Friday show. This is where I talk you guys through what I've been reading this week, what I've been reading, what I'm going to read next week, the videos that I made this week, videos that I'm making next week, and then kind of anything else under the bookish sun. So sometimes we add in an unboxing, sometimes I'll talk about book news, sometimes I'll just chat about what's been on my mind, and sometimes we'll even chat non-book stuff, so games, TV, movies, that sort of stuff. Now, this week I have been primarily kind of sick and under the weather. I had Chinese food on Monday, and then had food poisoning for 2 days, where my brain was not really in the space to make videos, read books. I didn't make any videos, but I also didn't read any books. So I am still reading what I was reading last week, which is Crossroads of Twilight. I still have roughly the same problem that I had with this book last week, which is that it does not feel hugely necessary. A lot of this stuff feels kind of like side quests, like filling in areas of the story that I did not necessarily need filled in. That sort of stuff could have kind of been implied. I did just read yesterday a really fantastic chapter that got me so jazzed. So the way that I have been reading this book primarily is audio. So I think I've probably read maybe 70% of what I've read audio, way more than usual. I usually read, with most books, I would say I read about 70% physical ebook and 30% audio. And the audio is often when I'm like doing chores or go out for a walk or run or something like that. But with Crossroads of Twilight, I was kind of struggling with it because the opening characters, once we get past the map section, a lot of the characters were ones that I was kind of the least invested in, and then we move straight onto one of my favourite characters having, unfortunately, quite a boring section of the book. So what ended up happening with this one was that I switched over to audio, and I would listen to the audio for this while playing puzzle games on my PC. So been playing Picross and match 3 games and stuff. So things that don't use brain power. So one of the specific things that I really liked to do as like games wise when I'm listening to audiobooks is make sure that I'm using things that don't rely on me needing to like count or add or read. So anything that has like written instructions, don't like. Anything that has like counting for like addition, numbers, puzzles, I don't really like. But Picross, which is purely pattern creation and recognition, really enjoy that. And I can 100% pay attention to the book while I'm playing it, which is really good. And it often will help me if I am struggling with reading an audiobook, if I'm struggling to get into it, playing a Picross game actually really helps and lets me dial the book right in. That actually happened once last year with a book that I can't remember what book it was now, but it was a book that I was maybe I should have DNF'd at the time, but I didn't. And once I was playing Picross, it really hooked me in. So yeah, Picross, one of the best games, like styles of games. They're on like every platform. PictoPix is the name of the one that I've been playing on Steam, and it's like £2 or something insane. Very good. I've got to the stage now where it's kind of getting a bit too hard, but I'm still enjoying playing it. So yeah, I've got been reading Crossroads of Twilight. I'm actually way further than I am here. I've stopped moving the bookmark on. I'll be honest with you guys. I am at the 75% mark. So let me find out what chapter I am on. Oh, I'm on chapter 23, page 507. So yeah, I'm at the 75% mark. Matt and I have already booked in our chat about it because I know I'll finish it this weekend. Unless something mad happens, I will finish it this weekend. Because I've only got 4 hours of audio left, and last night I listened to over an hour. So yeah, it's going to get read by Monday. So the review will also be out on Monday. So yeah, finish this one. Go to finish this one. Like I said, I just read last night a chapter that was so good that I continued listening for like 3 more chapters. And with this book, oftentimes I've been listening to a chapter, because the chapters are often like an hour long on audio. Been listening to a chapter and then like taking a break and like going, making a drink and chatting to my wife, and then coming back and sitting down and reading some more. But last night I listened to like 3 chapters in a row before taking a break, and yeah, that was a really encouraging for the way the book is hopefully going to end. And I'm hoping it's going to end on a high note, especially because we actually only have 1 full Jordan book left to go, because we've got New Spring after this, but then Knife of Dreams, and Knife of Dreams is very sadly Robert Jordan's final book of the Wheel of Time. So what am I going to be reading after this? So I'm going to be going back to the Reckoners trilogy. I've talked a little bit about this before. I had originally intended to read the entire Reckoners trilogy in January, because I wanted to get a head start on getting some headway for reviews. So next I'm going to be reading Firelight, which is book 2 in the Reckoners. And in an ideal world, because I read those books really quickly, I imagine I will finish that book very quickly, and it'll probably be done before the end of next week. And I think that what I'm going to do then also is probably flow straight into the next Reckoners book, again, to just give me that buffer. I really want to make sure that I've got the buffer for times when, like, I have maybe, for example, only 1 format of a book. So say I have this is actually a good example. So from my friend Andrew Watson, I have the physical arc for the Black Mantle, but I don't have the digital one, which means that I can't read it while I am waiting for my son to fall asleep in his bedroom. I can't read it when I go to the office, because I don't want to take my exclusive arc edition to the office. So for a book like this one, where again I have no audio and I have no ebook, I will need a bit more time, because there's a lot less time I can fit this book into my day. This book is going to be the next book that I read after Reckoners, but I just want to make sure that for books like this, or for books that I want to take more time on, like with Return to Edan last year, it took me over 2 weeks to read that, and if I had rushed through it, maybe it wouldn't have been my book of the year. So yeah, we're going to be reading Black Mantle, which I'm really excited about. After Black Mantle, I should... I actually don't know. I'm waiting for my copy of Grave Empire to come from the Broken Binding. That is the new book in the new trilogy by Richard Swan, set in the same world as the Empire of the Wolf. As you guys know, I was a huge Empire of the Wolf fan, and even though I didn't really like the final book in the trilogy, I ended up still putting it on my top 10 for the year. So if that will tell you anything about how much I really enjoyed that series, book 1 especially is probably top 5 all-timer book. So I'm really looking forward to the Grave Empire. And also, one of the things that I found out about Grave Empire recently is that it is a dual POV instead of a single POV. So looking at that world through 2 different eyes, and also it being a third set of POV, a second and third POV on that world. So previously, every single thing we've seen in that universe has been interpreted through Helena's point of view, whereas now we'd be going from these 2 new characters. And while I know apparently it's a bit of a nautical book, and I don't like nautical books, especially apart from Ship of Magic, which I loved, I am really excited to read it, to be honest. So yeah, Grave Empire in February. Fonda Lee's new book I'll be reading. So Fonda Lee's new book released earlier this month. It's a Bruce Lee based YA fantasy, which sounds awesome. She wrote it in collaboration with Bruce Lee's daughter, and that came out in January. And I got an arc for it, but I never actually got around to reading it, which is dumb, but I'm going to read it, and I'm kind of hoping to read it soon. I am also hoping kind of that because it's YA, it'll be a quicker read, but who's to know? I did read the Greenbone Saga books pretty quickly as well, so I'm trying to stack up quick reads early in 2025. So yeah, you guys already know that. I've talked about that 1,000 times. Do you know what the worst part about today is, right? I delayed filming this video because I'm waiting for my Broken Binding Malazan box to arrive. And I think I'm now kind of at the point where I can't wait any longer. And even to get this edited and uploaded in time, maybe a stretch. So you might not get to see the Malazan unboxing until like next week. Moving on to videos. So this week we posted the Steelheart review. Not many people watch that, but whatever. I enjoyed making it, and I want to review every single book that I read. I think it's really important. And then also I put out my building the list video. I really like building the list videos. I like to talk through my process with you guys. So I don't want to have to go like, here's my top 10 books and here's 15 honourable mentions. I want to tell you guys what my top 10 books are, and I want you to know why. And I also want you to know why your favourite series, for example, might not have made the cut. Because I think you'll see from that top 10 video that, especially like the 3 final series that were in contention for that number 10 spot, you'll see there that I had really different reasonings for all 3 being in the top 10. So I had one series that I'd read 5 books from, loved 3, didn't love 2. I've got one series that I'd read 3 books from and loved all 3. And then I had one series that I'd only read the first book, but it was one of my favourites of last year. So I think you've got to think about, it's a really, not got to think about, I think that I really like showing you my decision-making process. And I feel like being honest and open about that process is the best way to do these sort of list videos. Yes, was the building the list video like twice as long as the actual list video? Sure, and they probably all will be. I'm going to put them all in a playlist as well because I think it's fun to watch those. So I do hope you enjoyed that. I think I don't actually know when the next list I'm going to build is. I don't have any on the horizon. Maybe some like... the thing is, if I was going to do a tier list, I would just do a tier list. It might be time to rank Brandon Sanderson books soon because I've read most of them. We could rank the Cosmere now, but maybe we could rank some actual, like the whole thing. Anyway, so that's what I've done this week. I enjoyed making all those videos. Next week on the channel will be the Crossroads Twilight review, as already discussed. On Wednesday, I actually don't have anything planned. I've been meaning to get in touch with Andre and restart our Stormlight, Wind and Truth spoiler-filled discussions. And he's very available, but I have been struggling with availability because I've not been well and work has been insane. I've been working late a lot. So, yeah, big struggle. I did also have a thought about maybe... now that I've got the Malazan books coming from Broken Binding, doing like a bit of a these are all my special editions video. That could be fun. If you'd like to see that, let me know and I can talk you through that. Yeah, I don't know what else ideas wise I had. Oh, it's got to be January wrap-up time next Wednesday. Yeah, it'll be the January wrap-up. If you'd like to see those other videos, let me know. I will still make them. But yeah, January wrap-up next Wednesday. Next Friday will be the Friday show, and so on and so on and so on. You guys kind of know the cadence of how this is going to work. Hi Barry, do you want to come up? Do you want to come up? So while I have been sick, I have been playing tons of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I know Rebirth just came out on PC, and I did buy it because there was a good pre-order deal. But I have been playing Remake, the first one, because I never finished it, and I actually restarted it and got all the way to the end for the first time ever. I think this is the first time I've ever gotten past chapter 4, and this is the third or fourth time I've tried playing. But anyway, yeah, I really, really loved that game. I really specifically loved like the first 70% of the game. The final 2 chapters, I felt the pacing was a bit off, and I would have preferred for us to kind of keep on that upward ramp of pacing, because what they do especially in chapters 17 and 18, they do a lot of, oh my god, everything's happening. Okay, let's take a long walk through some corridors for a bit. And I do wish that it was a bit more consistent with that pacing. You sniffing the books, bud? He's sniffing the book. Maybe he can smell Andrew's cat. That might smell of Meg. Anyway, so yeah, I have been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I finished it on Wednesday, and then immediately started the DLC, which is called Intermission. So that is the story of what was going on with Yuffie during the events of the main game. And it's been very funny to interact with the minor characters from Remake as Yuffie. So I don't think I'm even at the halfway point yet in Intermission, but as soon as I do finish it, I'm really excited to start Remake. And another one of the reasons that I want to finish Wheel of Time quickly is because I actually think that the day that I start Remake, I want to like sit down and that be my entire plan for the evening. Because the way that my gaming usually goes is I read for an hour or two, and then when I start to get tired is when I sit down to play some games. So because I can play games much easier when I'm a bit tired than I can read books. When I try and read books when I'm tired, I just read the same sentence 20 times and don't take anything in, and it doesn't work. But yeah, so really enjoyed Remake. I weirdly, I did not enjoy the beginning of Intermission at all. I felt that Yuffie's combat style didn't really work for me. But then as soon as they added another character to the party, Yuffie completely made sense, because she's not supposed to be that like lead character. She's more of a support character. So in the combat sense. So yeah, she works really well as that, and I've been really liking playing as her since. But yeah, going to be playing Rebirth pretty soon. I'll probably be able to talk about Rebirth a little bit next week. One of the great things about reducing the amount of content that I make as well, making less videos, is that it's actually really helped me be able to get back into some of my other hobbies. So like reading and reading. I love reading. Video games. And I actually read Batman Year One last week. It was a reread. I'd read it 3 or 4 times before, but I was reading it as part of the like comic club that we have over on Andrew Watson's Discord. I don't know what we're reading for February yet. I think I might suggest Superman, All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison. But then the other thing that I could say is, do we want to not do another DC thing, or do a Marvel thing? In which case, maybe Spider-Man Blue, because that's one of the best comics ever written. Yeah, maybe we'll go there. Spider-Man Blue. I'll recommend that and see what people think. The art on that one is really stunning too, but in a very different way to Batman Year One. So I'm hoping that people will enjoy a bit of a change. So yeah. If you haven't read Batman Year One, by the way, it is the best Batman story ever told, pretty much. Like that, and then Long Halloween are like the number 1 and 2. So get those down here, get those read. I think they're both reasonably priced on Kindle, to be honest. So from me and Barry, I hope you have a lovely weekend. And if you have not liked this video yet, please do, to let me know that you liked watching it. If you have anything that you want to chat to me about, please do tell me what you've been reading. Drop down in the comments below. And of course, subscribe. And I'll speak to you on Monday.